Hello guys, today the session of digitalization we are going to understand why digitalization is important for the business life as well as the domestic life and how do we implicate into our business model. So, in my first slide, it comprises of a scenario where there are two friends in the name of Bob and David who are running a business of business tours and travel. But in this business, David is earning more, and in the other hand, Bob is earning less. So, in this business, these two people are using two different methods to run their business smooth. So Bob is have using the traditional way of method, whereas the David is using the digital way of method. So in this scenario, David is earning more. Why? Because David is completing all the requests on time, taking the bookings on time, doing all the complaints query instantly, and keeping the records intact. But whereas in a Bob using the traditional way of method, it becomes difficult for him to complete all the requests on the time. And nowadays, the people doesn't want to stand in a queue and wait for their service to be done because according to this market situation the people every consumer wants the service to be done instantly. So in this scenario Bob is struggling to run his business smooth. In the other hand, David is earning more and more, and he is growing more and more his business plus doing his work instantly and very smoothly. But the Bob is struggling in this business. But now, in my next slide, we will try to understand what is the actual difference between these two methods. So, when we are talking about a traditional method, it has the more manpower is involved, the time consumption is more, the costing is very high, the processing is very slow, and the chances of error is very, very high. So when we are using the traditional way of method, there are many disadvantages if you are implicating this particular method in your business. Because nowadays a person doesn't want to stand or doesn't want to wait the service to be completed. They want the things to be instantly. They do not want to wait for their time or for the service to be done. Second, in a digital method, the manpower is less involved, the time consumption is very less, the costing is very low, the processing is very faster, and it has more and more accuracy when you have implicated this digital method in your business model. So every point of view, if we see in a business model, it's really, really helpful as well as it is helpful for the customers on the other hand. But in a traditional method, it doesn't have that luxury, it doesn't have those points that it can make the business smooth. So if you are running an online business, the digital method is really, really important in your business model. My next slide comprises of what is the actual definition of digitalization. So when we talk about the digitalization, so how do we define it? It define it under the four pillars. That is the technology, the data, process, and organizational change. So when we are talking about technology, in every business model, there always a technology. So that technology either creates a new or it modifies the technology to make it more and more transparent for the business owners as well as for the consumers. Second comes the data. When you're running a business on an online platform, you have a lot of data to compare. You can do a market analysis to understand where your product is standing according to the today's market situation. So this is also a one important point when we are implicating this digital tool in your business module. Third is the process. So when you are running a business, the you do an automation process to make to simplify the complexity of the business and to make it more and more simpler for the consumers so that they should come back to your website or an app to do the repeat purchases. Every business wants their interface to be very smooth, to be very trendy, or to be very precise. If I say should be easy to handle that app and website, and whenever the consumer wants to take a hold of any information, or he or she wants to know about the information of a particular product, he or she can go through your website and app, and it should be a very easy tool to get through it. Last is the organizational change. So the organizational change, when a consumer wants a particular improvisation in a particular product of your brand, so for the improvisation of that product, you need to do some changes with the organization as well as to the product to make it more and more improvised product for the consumers. So when you're defining digitalization or the digital tool in a business module, these four things are really important. That is the technology, data, process, and organizational change, so that you can make your product more and more improvised for your consumers whenever the consumer requires some improvisation for your particular brand. Now we come to the next slide where it comprises of the importance of digitalization. When we are talking about the importance of digitalization, it comes to 2 points. First, it increases the efficiency. And how does it increases the efficiency? uh, when you are keeping all the documents regarding your brand, product, or your company, or the data, or anything, if it is kept online and something sudden happens, like natural disaster happen, or some theft has happened, or you have lost that particular documents in your in the documents. So the main thing that these documents or these data can be retrieved on an online platform, and it becomes easier for you to rectify that bug, or you can retrieve all these data at a problem time, and you don't have to wait for it. You can get that instantly. It increases that efficiency day by day when you're putting all your data on an online platform. But this type of luxury is not available in a traditional way of method, because when you're using traditional way of method, if anything it lost or stolen or something, you have to create from the scratch. Means you have to start from the A to Z. But this is the luxury of digital tool, that you can retrieve the data as same as what you have done with the data. So you get the same data with you when you retrieve this on an online platform. Second is, when you're using a digital tool in your business module, the main thing which comes into your mind, that is to retain the potential customer. Why do you want to retain those potential customer? Because you want the repeat purchases in your website, you want a good customer base, and it flourishes your business more and more. So when we are talking about retaining, so whenever the customer comes with their query or a complaint or a something, a request, so if the representative of that particular company, if he or she listens to the query of the customer and tries to solve that instantly, or tries to give a solution to it, the customer would be happy and would come back again and again, and always recommend your channel to other people as well. So you get the three advantages in that: you get a potential customers retained, second you get a good customer base, and third, you get your repeat purchases and more new purchases for your website. That makes it easier to make your business flourish. That's what every industry requires it. Whether you are in a textile industry, whether you are in a real estate industry, everybody in the industry requires these things if they are implying or they are trying to add that digital tool in their business module. So the example of digitalization, when you there are a lot of examples. I'm only taking one of the examples. Like whenever you required an information about a product, so it makes it easier when you have a digital tool. I'm talking about in a personal life. I'm not talking about a professional life in this particular slide. That whenever you require to understand that what is when you are buying a part of a what do you call a product, when you're trying to understand that product is good for the purchase or not, whether the expectation of that product what you are having is having in that particular product or not. So you can deal with it with an online platform. You can go to various e-commerce website and where you can find out about that product, you can find out about the reviews. You can also find about the pictures, how it works, you get a lot many information of that particular product. But when you are trying to do it in a traditional way, you have to go from place to place to understand about the product, and it gives you a very costly affair, because the traveling gives you a cost, and for that every person wants its own convenience, wants its own space, and wants a better deals for their particular product. So this online platform makes it easier for the consumers to understand what the product is all about, and they can get a different discounts, different deals. So they have the information as well as the discounts, and as well as everything about the product, and good deals about that. So that is done by sitting in an office or by sitting at a home. They can do anything and they can get all the information. But in a traditional way, they don't have this point of luxury, or you can say this point of benefit while doing it. Second comes slide of the advantages of digitalization. When I'm talking about the advantages, in my previous slides, you can understand how many benefit points are there. First is this time saving, which I was telling about. You're sitting at a home and office, you can still serve about and get to know about the product information, about the deals and everything. Secondly, it's a cost saving because you're not traveling from one place to another. You are sitting at a one place and getting a better deals about that product. So the time saving and the cost saving goes hand in hand. Then you get a more and more accuracy when you are trying to do a purchase, or you are trying to get through some information about the product. So the cost saving comes with the accuracy when you're looking about the product on an online platform. Then you go for a secure part, because all the documents, all the data which you have kept at an online platform, it is really, really secure. You can retrieve it if there is any problem with your system, or it has been lost, or it has been stolen or something. But still, you have that point of retrieving that data. Secondly, is a easy distribution. When you're launching a new product or a brand or something, you can easily distribute it through social media platform. That makes it easier for the consumers, because you can grab more and more customer presence on that particular launch of a new brand or a company. And because now social media platform and the ads have made it easier for the business people to make their brand or a product to be more largely into the social media platform, and to grab more and more consumers for it. And last is the increase in profit. When we are talking about retaining of the customer, you get that increase in sales, increase in profits, increase in your customer base for uh, retaining the potential customers. So these are the 6 points when we are talking about the advantage. If you try to imply this particular tool, it makes your business good, it makes your life good, and even it helps in both ways, business and domestic life. So digital tool nowadays, or according to this market situation, is really, really important. So now we come to the end of the session. We are where we are talking about a case study, which I've already told in every session of mine. I always have a case study which is dealing with a QR code. Now everybody knows about the QR code. There's nothing new, but it is a trendy according to this market situation. So today our case study belongs to the auction services center. You all know the QR code plays a vital role in every particular industry. I'm not talking about only specific this particular auction industry. It can be done in textile, it can be done in apparel, it can be done in entertainment industry, it can be done uh, ticketing events uh, industry. So there are a lot of things, a lot of new things are there, and if this QR code is embedded into that particular industry, it makes it more smoother, it makes it more convenient for the consumer, that they doesn't have to wait in the queue and they just scan to get to know about this. So in today's industry, the QR code in the auction industry is a very important technical tool that will add a digital dimension to your auctional products, if you are into that particular industry, that makes, if you're embedded this QR code, it's really, really important. The auctioneer can use these QR code for the items, whether he or she is selling, to take the potential buyers to a piece of valuable info about the product. The auction is a great platform between the two parties. Why? Because uh, it makes it easier to understand what is that product all about. It gives all the information when you are into that particular auction. So the auction, here you are looking about the solution that can help to organize the auction while keeping your guests as safe. So when you're doing the auction, it makes it a great platform where you try to give all the information about the auction product sales, and it makes it easier for the consumer to whether we should bid or not, and it makes it a quick, easy bridge between these two parties. So using QR code in the auction, and how does it work? So the main question when I'm talking about the QR code in auction, the second question comes like in this manner, that QR code when used in auction can provide many opportunities to make the organizational gala interactive for the guest and the potential buyers. So when you're organizing this event, it becomes a very means, you can say it is a gala event for both the buyers, bidders, as well as the other guests as well. So when QR code is scanned using by the smartphone data, it will show the scanner uh, info about the, whatever the item they are trying to understand the information about it. That this makes it easier for the guests to understand the history and their value detail about the product. That's all everybody wants when they are trying to buy a particular product. They always want to know about the history and about the worth of that particular product, and that is being auctioned. So QR code can be used in both online and virtual auction, and even printed uh, materials where they can scan it and get the information about that particular product. Second, when you are going to that particular auction event, so first thing which comes in a mind where we can use this QR code, that everybody wants a smooth registration, whether it is a non-profit or whether it is a profitable uh, auction event. So how do we do that? It's like to get the registration form for a potential bidder to have to spread this word about this auction. The QR code can help it to get these registration. So what you need to do is to create a QR code for your registration and add it to your marketing communication. So whenever you are doing a printed material or something, you can add this, and as people scan it, they will able to see the form, fill it, and registered for the auction. That makes it easier, or you can say it makes it convenient for the consumer. So there is no need for them to come in contact with the physical person, paper based forms, and they can do it online. And with that easier registration process, you can also see an increase in audience. That is the main focus point, because when you are trying to do an auction, even you want more and more attendees, you want more and more audience, as well as more and more buyers for the auction products. So with this QR code in this auction industry, you can also lead a video info. So how would you do for the auction products as a video? To leverage this engagement, you have to engage your audience because you want more and more audience for your event. So to leverage this engagement among the bidders, the video QR code is an excellent tool to make it an interactive bidding. So the video QR code can contain the video information about the product which is being auctioned in that particular event. So everybody wants to know the information about all the products which is being auctioned over that particular event. Second comes the event information. So how do we do that? How do we share that event information? So like you are saying that you are organizing an auction event and you need to inform your audience about it. So how to do it? You have to share all the events, such as the venue, the timings, the description. And for this, you can create an event QR code so that it can do, actually, it can do much more than that. How? When the audience scan that, can see the event's complete information, include the exact venue, location, timing. So this can be done through a simple smartphone device, and they can get all the information about that particular auction event. So that makes it easier for the bidders to understand what is that all event about and what are the products about, what are the venue, where is the location, everything. So you can do that, you can reserve the seat through this particular QR code. So the event QR code is more and more important because it goes hand in hand to engage more and more audience. Second comes the promote of auction in social media, using a social media QR code. Nowadays everybody is sitting in social media platform, everybody comes to know about every new brand or a company through it. So if you're looking to get more, get the people more excited and very apprehensive about your auction event, so what you need to do about, because you have to create the presence of your auction event in social media platform. So to promote your auction, social media QR code, you can create it because it's a really very powerful tool that will house all your social media profile and other digital resources online. So it makes a presence, it makes have a greater presence when you are doing it on social media platform. So if you have event which you are hosting in Facebook as well, so the event page and the social media site where you're promoting your auction event, you can embed that social media profile using this social media QR code. So you want your audience to be more and more increase for your auction event, so you can create the social media QR code and you can paste it if you have a Facebook, if you have other profile. So the landing page, whenever it is scanned, they can go to your social media profile and they can understand what is that auction all about, all the information about it, and what is, whether it is a worth of going there or not, if the products are according to the consumers or not, because that is really important whenever you buy, purchase, or you are going for any particular event. The first thing comes in a mind for consumers to understand whether it is a worth or not to going that event. So you have to promote in such a way that, and the person should come back and do a registration and should come to your event and do a good bidding over there. So this is the most important thing. But in this particular event, a Wi-Fi QR code is also required. And so when you are doing this auction in a physical setting, I'm not talking about a virtual, I'm talking about a physical setting when you are inviting all your guests for your physical auction event, you can use this Wi-Fi QR code to make it easier for a participant to connect to internet without having typed the URL or something. And while a Wi-Fi password. So when the guests are trying to scan this code, they will automatically connect it to the event. So whenever, I'm not saying it's not only for auction event, wherever you want to go in, now everybody, every person wants to be always connected every time with his phone. So whether they are attending an event or whether they are going to an airport for a travel, or they are going for a movie ticket or anything, so everybody in every consumer's mind that they should be connected every time. They want to know about what is the product about or what that movie about, or if they are going for any purchasing for an apparel or something, they want to know all the information about. So they want that Wi-Fi should there in particular stores or the retail outlet or in the lounges to get that connect and get to understand even in the events itself. So in an auction, when you have this particular thing, the consumer will be easy to understand the what they are bidding, and they can actually participate in that particular event when they are trying to understand what is that all about and the information about the valued products. So now comes in my mind that it is like you can do a streaming for this particular auction event. So for this, the URL code is really, really required. So the URL code during a stream that will be redirect to your giving page. In this live stream event, a QR code can be presented to help all your attendees to find a given page or the live auction where it is happening. So the scanner can scan that QR code with the camera to go to that particularly landing page where that auction is happening. So everybody wants to go to that. Everybody have that mindset that whenever the consumer is scanning, they should get to the correct landing page, whether it is an online or offline. And when you're doing this auction, you want that attendance should come to your particular page where you are doing that particular auction event, so that they can participate, they can bid for it, they can ask questions about it, and they can understand the worth of the products. The last point is the customer feedback. In every industry, I'm not talking about one industry, and in every industry, the customer feedback is really, really important for every business. So it gives the insights into whether your customer are enjoying your particular event or not, your services, your products. Because when you go for an event, so and this feedback is really important when you are organizing this particular event, like say for a first time. So you wanted to know where you've gone wrong, where you have gone correct, which thing you've done it correct, or which thing have not done correct. So through this feedback QR code, when the attendees have come, you can do this easily by giving a QR code when they have come to your event, and when they are going out, you can put a message with a QR code, and they can give their views about how this auction event has gone, how was the product, how was the services they have experienced in your auction event. So right now the manual forms makes it difficult because many people doesn't do it, but when the people are online, they can that makes it convenient for the consumers to get the feedback for that particular business. So for this, you can create a feedback QR code and put it on the product package or with your promotion pamphlets. So your audience can scan it to the access to the forms. So no need for them to tediously type the long URLs to access this particular form. You can make it through uh, product packaging or your promotional activities or your flyers which you're giving to the attendees to come and attend your auction event. So in whether you are doing in a profitable auction or a non-profitable, these things are really, really important. So in a non-profit also, the people comes where the money is not involved, but in a non-profit is a place where if it is a small picture or a small painting is also there, so you can just bid for that, because many people are running a non-profit auction these days also, because like some people, some artists have drawn this and that picture is looking good for the consumer, they can buy for it because they put a reasonable price for it to bid for it. So every auction need these things when you are in this particular industry. Try to do a smooth registration. Try to put more and more website traffic to your auction event. Even try to gain more and more social media followers for your auction event. Share your event information as well into your, and try to get the URL QR code to make it more and more successful in your while implying that QR code. So I would suggest that QR code nowadays are really, really important in our lives. Or if I'm saying for a business way, it's really, really important because it makes your business smooth. And on the second hand, it makes it easier for the consumer to to purchase or to understand what your brand or product is all about. So that's why I would suggest please try whoever is in the business of the auction, please try to imply these points in your business so that your business gets smooth and you get more and more attendees for your events. So this is all about the case study which I was having for QR code. So now we have, I'm working for UX Living Lab, where we are into this UX research business for last 20 years, and we are executing the qualitative and quantitative research for the clients, for their products, for their service and process. We try to get the insight from the consumer, and we try to make an extensive report regarding to it to make it up. We try to innovate. We try to provide the strategy to the products of the clients to make it according to the current market situation. That's what we all do. If you want to know more about it, that how it works, what are the features, what are the pricing, please do let me know. I'll be sharing all the details with the website as well as the calendar link for the same. And you can just have book an appointment with us, and I will let you know what is the company all about. So thank you for joining the session.